Today, I'd like to talk to you about pitch exercises. One way that you can really build an extraordinary strategic narrative is by learning how to convey your idea in as many different styles as possible. And this concept is very, very ancient. It's very, very old. The same idea repeated in different format, different style, different voices from different perspective, really shows the depth and the breadth and the options to your audience and helps you mobilize people to join you on your venture, really, in the context in which we are, which is building more inspiring, more meaningful businesses. Learning to share your ideas and sell your ideas in as many ways as possible is really a crucial skill. It's the best, probably the best kept secret and the most simple way to explain really what one of the facets of sales is about. Now, how was I inspired by this idea? Well, many years ago when I was a kid, I read this book, Exercice de style by Raymond Queneau. And in this little book, the author, Raymond Queneau, talks about a very simple story. He's in Paris. He is taking the bus and runs into somebody he doesn't know, a stranger. And the stranger acts kind of weird and he's dressed a little weird. And he just happened to be there and notices this person. And then 2 hours later, at a completely different place in further away in Paris, maybe a mile or two away, he runs again into this person, the same person, and that's just a coincidence. And that's the end of the story. And Raymond Queneau tells this story in about 140 or 150 different ways. Some versions of the stories are short, long, ask questions, give more details, focus on emotions, some other on senses, and so on. And I strongly believe that to master your idea, to master what's at the core of your strategic narrative, to be able to invite people to understand it, believe in it, and really get behind it, you need to be able to do something similar. And so how could you do that? So there are what's called pitch exercises. And pitch exercises are, interestingly, not very documented. In fact, if you research them, they're hard to find. And if you look on your search engine, the most numbers of the primary information you'll find is about pitching as baseball pitching, right? Because the term pitching comes from baseball. You hit the ball and the ball goes, creates this arc, and that's the story arc. And so we pitch something to go beyond the fence and hopefully make a home run, meaning we'll have brought people along with us on our idea and buy into our ideas. Anyways, that's a topic for another video there. But pitching exercises are these playful frameworks that helps you accomplish different things. So let me give you an example. What if your pitch was only one word? What if you could only use one word, as long as you want, but one word to convey the idea that you want to sell to people? What if you build sustainable houses and you can only use one word? Maybe it's net zero, maybe it's sustainable. These are adjectives. But maybe it's greenhousing, green-housing. Okay, that's one word. Yeah, he has a dash in the middle, but one word. Greenhousing. What if you install networks that don't require any cables at your clients? Maybe it's wire-free. Okay, another dash here, and it's two adjectives, but one adjective, but maybe that's just as simple as that. So I encourage you to try it out. Try to take your long form pitch. Maybe you have a pitch that is 100 words, maybe 1,000 words. I've seen really, really long pitches, and there are so many details. There's so many things that we get lost in the details. So what if you had only one word and you had to condense it and cut it in half and cut it in half again and cut it in half again and just boil it down to one word? What would you land with? This effort is really so beneficial because you are going to crystallize your ideas to the most essential thing that people will understand and remember. What if your pitch was only a question? Maybe a question like the one that I think it's Ronald Reagan used in his campaign in the 80s to explain the difference between his program and other programs that he was running against. And his question was the following: are you better off than 5 years ago? So just one question that was really, really powerful, because questions open the door for people's imagination. People will fill up the blank. And that question was remarkably powerful because it set him apart from all of the other programs and the program of his opponent that actually, didn't have such great results. So your pitch could be just one question. I'll let you think about what question this might be. Maybe if you are into, I don't know, food. I'm just gonna come up with examples now. Maybe you're in food and your product is a meatless. It doesn't have any meat. It's just vegetable based. It's vegan. And so maybe the question could be something like, what if today there was no meat in your plate? That's just a simple thing. You could probably come up with something better, but you get the concept here. Replace the whole pitch with just one question. Talk less, give more room to people to use their imagination to complete the pitch and really create this idea of open-ended invitation to something that is a new chance, a new opportunity for them. Another form of pitch that I have seen also is the Twitter pitch. So I don't know if it's true, but I think Twitter only allowed 140 characters to write on a tweet. And what if your pitch was only limited to 140 characters? That's a small sentence. What could you come up with? Maybe you would come up with several versions of your pitch and pick the one that conveys the idea most succinctly and in the most compelling way. So these are pitch exercises. I just gave you 3 examples, but in this book, the story gets told 150 different ways, and you could probably come up with 150 different ways. I really encourage you to bring in playfulness and creativity and experiment with new ideas as you build your strategic narrative. Of course, pitching is not the whole narrative. Pitching is just one facet of building a strategic narrative. Pitching is typically something you will do for your customers or for your investors. So it's really the external facet of the narrative. So don't get confused here. These are 2 different things, but that's one facet and one very important one very useful one, because if you build this ability to just adapt to any situations, sometimes you only have 5 seconds to tell somebody what your company does, and sometimes you have 10 minutes. Your pitch is an accordion, and so is your strategic narrative. Well, those exercises should help you adapt to these situations and come up with better creative ideas and be really comfortable at facing any kind of audience anytime. So give these a try, and I will follow up with more content, more videos on this subject, because as I said, I'm going to pretty soon teach a course on this very topic. Thanks for watching, and as always, I wish you the best. Good luck Good luck and have fun with the pitch exercises.